LA Regional 4th starts the day with live coverage of the Will Rogers 5 and 10K run.
He's going up the Eastgate switchbacks.
They're yelling left, left, and I couldn't see where the left turn was, and I almost cut it short.
So I'm in heaven right now, back in my hometown.
To what do you credit your win today in the 10K of Will Rogers?
Beautiful weather, good fans, good course.
I think it could be a few 100,000 people here, which is going to be pretty amazing. It could top 500,000, which is going to be amazing.
Perfect running temperature and a live local telecast like no other.
3/4 of the total climbing happens in the last half of the race. So when you get to the 5K mark, you're not even halfway done with the climbing. And if you don't run the course respecting that conservatively, you're going to pay for it on those hills.
Hey, Jerry, so tell us, what does the run mean to you?
Well, the run means everything to me. It's, as you know, all of us are so active at our wonderful hospital, St. John's, and we've been doing this for quite a few years. But today is such a special day because with all that's going on in the world today, those of us that were involved in World War II still remember every one of these days because we are so lucky to live in the greatest country on God's green earth and to celebrate with what's going on all over the world, to know that this is still the one bastion in the whole world where people can live free. And I just hope all of our young people realize that, what a wonderful heritage our founding fathers gave to us.
What was your time, sir?
57:30.
That's
Very
fantastic. So you're under an hour?
Yep.
You gotta be proud of that.
I am.
That's great. Was there a part of the course that you enjoyed the most?
Mostly the downhill. It's my favorite part.
Watch on KVMD Channel 23, DirecTV and Dish Network Channel 31, AT&T UVerse and Verizon Fios Channel 23, and on all cable systems. Visit laregional4th.com and click on Find My Channel to find my channel. You have been associated with this run from the beginning. You were one of the guys who started the run.
Yes, that gentleman right there, Bill Klein, who's walking away, was one of the guys.
Wisely, perhaps.
Started with me. Yes, 36 years ago.
So tell us what happened. You were standing here one day and you said, we shouldn't keep all this fun to ourselves.
Actually, it started, Brentwood had a race, and Brentwood, the neighboring city, had a race. And we were actually ran in the race. We were sitting afterwards. They had a parade, and we thought, well, when there's a parade in the Palisades, why don't we have a race?
Why don't we have a race?
36 years ago. So that's how we came up with the idea. And thank God it stuck.
It certainly did. Brian, I know you're busy. I appreciate you stopping by, and we'll be chatting with you again here before the morning's out.
Sure. Just thanks everybody for showing up. Thank
Brian
you.
Shea, race director, Will Rogers 5 and 10K run with us live this morning.
1,362.4 miles I ran in honor of my father for pancreatic cancer. And to date, we've raised nearly $200,000 for the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network through my website, marathongoddess.com. I'm truly honored. Yeah.
Well, that is great. Now, when you've run in the Will Rogers 5 and 10K.
I have, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years. I think it was 2007, 8, and 9, something like that. And now I'm back again, and I'm using this as a training run to qualify for the Boston Marathon.
Because he has an advantage?
That might be a good idea. Good morning.
Now, are you running with your friend? And what is your name? Miriam. Miriam is running with, who's this?
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown. Miriam and Charlie Brown are running in the run, and lots of people are all around. They come from miles around for the Will Rogers 5 and 10K run. Thanks for stopping,
Yeah,
Miriam.
from Newport Beach.
She's from Newport Beach up here today. Very
Thanks for
good.
making the trip up. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
The 10K run, thanks Miriam, thanks Charlie Brown. The 10K run is a beautiful thing. We're probably going to take a look at that in this animation built by Mike Davis, an amazing animation and graphics expert in the city. One of the many people working well below what he could be just to promote this wonderful event on a national holiday that started it all.
That's correct. And also I wanted to add, with respect to Will Rogers, one of the really beautiful things about this race is it takes you right in front of his house, and the house is a historical site. You can take tours of it. It's really fascinating.
We're looking at the view of Corona Del Mar as they turn and coming up Toyopa now, and the runners here will encounter a hard left, a hard right, stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight at Pampas Ricas.
That's correct. They make a turn there on Pampas Ricas, and either the 5K runners go turn around on Sunset and come back, and the 10K runners continue on.
It's a thing of beauty. Now, coming up on Sunset, they have a different escape route than the 10K people. They make a hard right on Drummond and then go east on Sunset.
You know about the 10K runners or the 5K?
The 10K people, you're right. The 10K people continue.
The 10K people make a hard right turn off of Sunset onto Chautauqua, and then they follow Drummond back to Sunset.
And then they're going up the back way. This is the way you can't normally drive. They go up the back way into Will Rogers State Park, and we'll have a camera of them coming up that gravelly road. They come over the center of Will Rogers State Park, right next to the house that you mentioned, and then we have them coming down the zigzags of the front road, which I think is actually called Will Rogers Park Drive?
That is Will Rogers State Park Road, and that actually is the steepest part of the course. It's approximately 9% in the steepest components of that, and so the runners do take a pretty good beating coming down that hill.
And back to Sunset, down Drummond, and then back here to Alma Real and Toyopa to the big finish line, and they come down on one half of the road as 10K runners. It's a wonderful and exciting thing, and the starting gun is at 8:15 this morning. Is that correct?
We hope so. That's the plan.
Very good.
All right, good morning, guys. I'm Kasha Grigorchik, and I'm here with Ellen Kerr. She is a veteran Will Rogers 10K, 5K runner. Good morning, Ellen.
Good morning.
Great to have you. And we are actually at the corner of Pampas Ricas and Toyopa, and this is actually where the 10K runners will be passing through, and 5K at one point. So I'm just going to ask Eleanor a little bit about what the runners are experiencing right when they pass through this area.
So this is actually the first mini challenge, I would say, in the course. They've gone downhill from the beginning, from the starting line, and now they've just had to come uphill for about half a mile, and it feels steeper than it actually is. Right. But there are lots of fans along the road to help cheer them along, yes. And as they come around this bend, they'll hit their first water break, so that'll help give them some relief. They'll have then some flat time on Sunset before the 10K runners head up to the switchbacks.
To finish. Come on over, Lynn. Just jump in the center. That's okay. So tell us, today you're not running, but you ran for 35 years. How do you feel today?
Well, I feel great. It's an exciting, fabulous day on the 4th of July here in Pacific Palisades. Actually, the weather couldn't be better. It's cool, and we're looking for a great race. We should have about 3,000 runners today.
We have people from all across the state, people from outside the United States, and viewers from outside the United States on the LARegional4th.com website, live and in replay. So it's a very well-covered event. Might be the best covered 10K in the United States right now. Now, Kevin is coming with us, right?
Yes, we have Kevin Earhart, who's a world-renowned orthopedic surgeon with us. Kevin?
Dr. Kevin Earhart is with us, taking the center chair. Hi, Kevin. Good morning. Now, we wanted to talk to you for just a second. I know that you are in charge of making sure that the runners stay safe and are safe.
Well, we're part of the medical team. We have a very good medical team. It's about 5 or 6 specialties, 6, 7 nurses. We've been doing it since ever, and it's pretty oiled. And luckily, we don't get used very much. A little bit. And most of the stuff we have is very minor. But every once in a while, we've had some major ones, all the way to a man who had a cardiac arrest.
Wow.
And that was about 12 years ago, and he made it.
You know, they're running through a neighborhood that is really one of the most beautiful neighborhoods anywhere in the world, as far as I know. I've traveled the world pretty much, and there's not too many places as beautiful as Pacific Palisades.
Wow. What is your name?
Brady O'Brien.
How did you like the course?
It was pretty tough.
Is this your first time?
Yeah, it was my first time. I kept thinking that I was in the last hill, and then there's another one. So.
It is a beautiful running day, still overcast. Makes you just want to go run and join them.
It does. I got a headphone on, otherwise I'd be doing it.
There we go. Fantastic. What is your name?
Patty Burns.
Patty Burns, and you just gave it up. You said you were 82?
I'm 82, and I've lived in the Palisades since 1958, and I've been coming to this race every year.
Fantastic.
I used to walk in it. I haven't walked for the last couple of years. I have a bad knee. This is the most fun day of the year in the Palisades.
82.
The energy here is so amazing. I know all the people. Bob Benton is a good friend of mine, Bobby Klein, all of them, and they're all there for this whole event, and it raises a lot of money now, and It's such a healthy thing for our community.
Now, how did you come to be acquainted with the run?
Well, I'm part of the original, Ridge Runners group that had the idea to start this 30-something years ago. And so, once again, I'm doing what I do every single year. My son Jimmy is kind of the next gen, part of the next gen group, so he's gradually taking over. And but we know what we're doing. We know where we are. We do the same jobs, and that's why it's so well run. You know, we've been there, and we love this community, and we love the day.
Way before the anthem.